You're back. Good. What can I help you with? I love...
Far.
Pleased to meet... What can I help you with, Lieutenant? Of course.
For about.
It was taken with...
She has no...
I can't. Close.
Where is he now?
That is precisely what the sailors fear. Quite a few.
What next?
Then he made Revachol.
The old...
You said...
I can't.
In Martinique. Vredefort? Vredefort has a military academy. The Seminoles Islands saw...
That makes sense.
For all the boys looking for an adventure. It could... Surely there are other people to ask about the tech.
Do what you have to do, Detective Dubois. I don't think deciphering that tutu should come before public security. But if you should wade into the mob to...
We will be careful, ma'am.
Is there anything else I can help you with? More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Glad to have been of assistance. The little...
As you hold it in your hands, it makes an uncomfortable crunching sound. There is no why. The note is written with a blue pencil on a piece. A police badge on which you see This door has been closed with a padlock. A chalk-drawn number on the board. No reply. It's a solid lump of metal, but the shackle is deeply...
Give me a moment. Ask away, policeman. Oh, that one is a scientist. I think he studies astrology at the community college. Something to do with all those stars around his door. That's what I said.
The lieutenant. Come on, people. Try to keep up any standards here. It's not about stars.
Oh, ask away, the artiste? Nothing I can do about her, I'm afraid. She leaves an old lady to her business. Oh,
This door has been closed with a padlock. A chalk-drawn number on the boards. This door has been closed with a padlock. The shackle snaps like a twig.
After you.
A plaster cast bust depicts a middle-aged man with impressive sideburns. Honestly, he does kind of look like you after all.
The White Star, the photos on the wall. I think we have broken into the apartment of a young communard. How fitting. Hold on a second. Is this why you broke in here? To find out whether you're Krasmazov? Sure it is.
The lieutenant doesn't even bother to reply to this.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
raging alcoholic is still there, breathing. The lieutenant's right. The man's unwashed hair.
No, this man...
A pair of half-open bug eyes.
Look, he's trying to communicate.
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here. Because you see it, finally. This wall is sublime. Look, all the other walls on all the other houses must make a pilgrimage in adoration of this. The O Wall Father.
Huh?
He sounds tired of it all. You already have the heavy fuel oil to use as paint. It's red. And Cindy the Skull has a paintbrush. This is on.
Mm-hmm. Sure. If you must.
Hello again.
What for? Well, if it's for art. But what kind of art are we talking about? Then you have time to find your own fucking brush. There, Piggy. I guess art just isn't really you. 'Cause you suck in life and in everything.
work! Shame on you!
Things are busy enough. You're going to waste less of my time?
The hulking man oozes stark skepticism.
Hell no. I'm just an honest scab.
It just has to be said, that was not a convincing line.
Fucking wrong.
You hear a tiny rattle, a small radio. I'm going to interpret that as a yes. There's a tribunal, and it...
How about you fuck off now, huh?
Okay, of course.
There could be weapons aiming at us right now, somewhere above, in the buildings. The other merc. Don't push this, he's thinking. This is not the time. The man's breathing steadies, but his eyes are still narrow. Slowly, he's trying to get his right-to-work dance back on.
Don't think so.
Suddenly, this feels like a really, really bad idea.
Actually, I think we should maybe even get going.
He clearly does not think poking the hornet's nest is a wise plan anymore.
Right to work! Right to work! Shame on you!
Hell no.
It just has to be said, that was not a convincing...
Fucking...
You hear... I'm going...
How about you?
Okay.
There could be weapons aiming at...
Fucking loincloth.
Loincloth? Now you see, that's not really what a scab would say, is it? The man's breathing steadies, but...
Oh, hey, man. It's good to see you. Goodbye, officer.
Close your eyes and dream of the shapes your body should form to bring this strange music into life.
But just imagine the moves you could pull to this futuristic beat.
Goodbye, officer.
Hey, Her Innocence Dolores Day liked little figurines, right? Liked holding little men between her fingers, remember? You have the Headless Falcon Rider figurine. You should give it to her. Win her back. Don't be so pessimistic. Love doesn't die that easily. This isn't funny. You have a bad feeling about this one. So very, very, very nifty. Nifty and mysterious. This is surely what the figurines are for. The mother of humanism stands above. Why? That does seem to be a problem. Maybe you meant something else? I don't know. What are we thinking of? Part of your mind has gone on. Only a strange little sadness remains. The mother of humanism towers above you. A wax painting on a cracked pane of glass. Nothing has changed in her Why? That does seem. The mother of humanism towers above.
Yes, what is it?
Good evening.
There's some tear. An old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown a sand dune in front. As you approach the man, he appears completely at ease.
Ah, super. It's the officer. I was not expecting to run into you. What brings you down to the scenic Martinez coast? Well, that's très simple. I was visiting the fishing village just north of here. They have applied for a series of microloans to revitalize the old market. And then, I had some extra time on my hands, so I decided to stroll down here. It's quite peaceful, isn't it? Yes. There's nothing like a stroll along the coast to lift one's spirits. Really? Here? How can you be sure? Ah? Is that what those pockmarks are? I might have guessed. Fascinating how much history is contained.
Are you just going to let him get away with these generalities and euphemisms?
Yes, the loss of human life was truly catastrophic. This is why the Coalition is so focused on preventing another war. Our peacekeeping mission is a testament to this. Thankfully, the region is becoming more and more stable. I'm confident that atrocities like this belong in the past.
Tranquilo, below. Let's not get into this. You can't argue with someone who uses words like tranquil.
Ah bon? I'm all ears, officer. My friend, if it's la responsabilité you're after, I have good news for you. The Comité de Responsabilité de Revachol, it acts as a sort of clearinghouse for coalition activities. To put it simply, they are the ultimate arbiters of la responsabilité.
Yes, this is just the sort of reasonable authority you're...
I would offer to connect you with the committee myself, but alas, I am not...
What? Where is he then? You knew there was something strange about this one. He's speaking figuratively. He means he's not in Martinez in his official capacity.
Précisément. Officially, I am still in La Delta, preparing for an upcoming conference on... That's why it would be extremely irregular, or potentially even inappropriate for me to intercede with the committee concerning a district I'm not officially in. Well, under ordinary circumstances...
In other words, the committee only knows...
But if you have information of a vital interest, they might be willing to entertain an exception. In which case, I would advise you to contact them via Coalition Warship Archer. Officer, you mean to say that you haven't noticed the giant Coalition aerostatic peacefully patrolling the skies over it?
You follow the man's gaze out toward the west. There, amidst the low-hanging stars, you can just make out signs of... It's a set of position lights moving in unison. No, it's more like a creature from the abyssopologic zone. A great, dark, bioluminescent fish.
Isn't it? A triumph of both technical ingenuity and international cooperation. I, for one, feel much safer knowing it's up there watching all of us. You see, in addition to being an airborne artillery platform, Coalition Warship Archer is also the linchpin of the Coalition's surveillance and communications infrastructure. And listening! It has the most objective vantage point in the entire city. Not to mention a vast... I find it a great comfort to know there are benevolent powers watching over all, in strict accordance with the Wayfarer Act and the Bristlemühne Convention. This is quite the problem. Very tricky. Of course, the Archer has orders to fire on any unidentified... But in that case, you would require a radio transmitter capable of broadcasting on Coalition frequencies. I suppose there might be some way to circuit bend your way onto those frequencies, but you'd have to be one of those techno... Unfortunately not, no. I don't have the pleasure. I am merely a representative of the Coalition.
Sounds like something that programmer we met in the church might be...
Let me just say that I have complete confidence in the RCM. I'm sure you'll figure something out. Always my pleasure to be of assistance to the RCM.
What is it? You're asking me to circuit bend onto coalition radio frequencies. You want to know is the main difficulty will be finding an antenna powerful enough to reach those frequencies.
She's not joking. Even the RCM has to receive special approval from the coalition to access that kind of equipment.
I highly doubt it. That tower is barely able to transmit shortwave signals across the bay. To generate megalow frequencies, we're going... I don't see any alternative. We're just going to have to build the antenna ourselves. Yes, from a technical view, it's not even difficult. We need metal, a lot of it. The taller the structure, the better. Something that is both prominent and easily accessible. If it's near a power source, even better. What is it?
Close your eyes. Unfold your mental map of Martinez. It's morning. You're standing on the plaza before the whirling in rags. Your eye follows the tiles west. You see a bench and a few twisted, pitiful trees. Beyond the unkempt backyard rises a monstrous assemblage of concrete, plaster. You turn around. The morning sun is blinding. You bring your hand to your brow and a great shadow materializes before you.
The dead king and his horse.
It may work, you think, but why?
We'll need an adequate power supply and a great quantity of cable. If we connect the cables to some of the stranded lorries, we could theoretically increase the antenna's wavelength exponentially. It's completely ridiculous, but I believe we could transform the entire roundabout.
A note of awe in her voice. She's shocked and pleased by her own audacity.
Yes, very likely the large... I have plenty of cables and amplifiers on hand. The power supply, I cannot answer that for you, but I don't expect it to be that difficult. There's no shortage of radios around here. If you have real to spare, you might even be able to buy one. But it does...
And before you ask, no, you can't have the radio from Makinema.
Certainly, though it requires a fair amount of technical finesse to remove them. Frankly, it's not worth the bother. Just find a regular radio. That sounds like a perfectly adequate radio. Absolutely not. My reign prefect is my livelihood. If something were to go wrong, it would be a disaster. In the meantime, I will gather the rest of the materials. We will meet back here when you have it.
scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone while the other watches him.
What bad people?
I don't think questioning 4-year-olds with a...
Then we're definitely doing it. If he really wants to save the economy, he'd let you pay with net worth. Go over and ask him if you can. If he really wants to save the economy, he'd let... Something cold grazes your hand. Synthetic and sleek. A windbreaker. Surf.
Good choice, officer. Mega sporty. And it's only $4.50 for you, sir. Gotta prepare for springtime, right?
The hawthorn tree on Rue de Saint-Gislain. Bronze-colored ribbons of magnetic tape are caught in its branches, fluttering in the breeze. Patting the tree reveals a small sticker which has almost been worn to oblivion. It reads, RCM Emergencies Desk, number 8100. The bronze ribbon twists around and within the branches in an intricately natural pattern. There's a twisted logic in this mess. You see the ends of the ribbon, the way it flows, how it twists and turns. It's all starting to make sense. It'll be easier to remove now. Like an immaculate labyrinth, the magnetic tape twists and turns around the branches. You just can't get it loose. All you've done is make your... The gnarled hawthorn tree on Rue de Saint-Gilles Lane. A wintry breeze blew, with slow and deliberate motions. It curls up into a mess inside your pocket. If only you could find a way to re-spool it, so that you could hear what's on the tape. Maybe Roy from the pawn shop can...
What's the tape for? This is part of your church thing, isn't it? Of course it is. It's too broken to play, you understand, right? It's not like Egghead and his friends know how to fix it. You could also get it fixed at the pawn shop across the street. We shouldn't waste our time.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything. You mean re-spool it? Yeah, I do, but I'm not some Mr. Fix-It. I'm a pawnbroker. If you want to pawn the tape...
Just explain why you need this so much. He's bound to understand.
No, it's different. Those film tapes actually mean something to me. But Huh? What do you mean? Yes, what about it? Is it any good? The music, I mean. Man, you're really invested in this. Okay, I'll help you out. It's going to take a moment, though, so just...
You take some time to look around the store. The play of visuals all around the pawn shop is mesmerizing. Suddenly, Roy turns back to you with a reel of tape in his hand and coughs.
Yeah, my pleasure. I do what I can for true passion projects. Just try not to use this tape for negative photon emissions. Take responsibility. A transceiver, is it? Yeah,
He produces a machine the size and shape of a common pasta box. A blue bake-like shell with
a genuine crystal sprach. This is a connoisseur's model.
The Model 9 also comes equipped with a signal purifier to suppress crosstalk. Especially good around here with our funky reception. It's about as close to perfection as a transceiver gets. And we're only asking 120 real for it. You'll be back again. I've got a feeling.
Thank you for doing that, dear.
Her smile is weary. Earlier...
Morel still isn't feeling well. I convinced him to stay at Gary's to get some rest. I'm afraid the cold has really gotten to him. I'm sorry, dear. You've had to drudge through them so many times. Such is Phil. Morel will eventually, or we'll talk Gary into going back.
The lieutenant stares at his shoe, caked in...
That really is too much, sweetie. Thank you for your dedication, but I can see...
Very strange. Why is she not letting you do this? It's like she's...
Different? How?
Answering a question with a question, for example. Defensive isn't her usual style.
I'm in doubt, sweetie. That's all. It's, a strange...
And when a police officer asks...
Do you ever wonder if some lovely story from your childhood...
Hunching her shoulders now. She seems...
Seeing the Insulindian phasmid was just a story I used to tell people. Morel's so proud of it.
A terrible sting in the heart. Regret.
No, at least I don't think I did, but Morel was so that I'm some queen of the cryptozoologists.
That I am a queen? An extraordinary witness to grace.
But now, we're both getting old, and he's still working himself sick out in those reeds looking for it.
The lieutenant opens his notebook. He's hiding. These things are tough on him. Matters of love, not violence or deceit. But it has, hasn't it? A seed can only bear what's inside. The seed of love is black and oily. It has a taste you're quite familiar with.
You might be right, Detective. I was a paraplegic before we met. He didn't know before I came.
She has to swallow to relax her throat. It's keeping her from talking.
Maybe. But then why do I not dare tell him? I've wasted enough of your time. What you have to know is the Insulindian phasmid probably does not exist.
Are there? Some of the other things are pretty bad.
I'm not sure of anything. Sometimes I still see it, you know. The real memory.
Rising. Unfolding from the reeds on a hot...
Either way, I should go. Poor Morel is running a fever, and I need to get him home to Jamrock before we overstay our welcome with Gary. Oh no, thank you, but I can get there on my own. This old thing is gas-powered. And then a taxi home. It's not so bad.
Really?
Oh, sweetie. Please don't get stuck on a dream.
No one can stop you from finding the phasmid.
Okay, it's 1113 Tabernacle Road.
A sigh. She doesn't think you'll need it.
You too, sweetie. Thank you for everything, truly. Even though it turned out to be a
waste of time. A dream. A fool's hope. Like that, she drives off. The gas station enters quietly as she gets to the doors, then pushes them open. Outside, It's snowing.
We should go to...
Kingdom of Conscience. The Kingdom of Conscience will be exactly as it is now. Moralists don't really have beliefs. Sometimes they stumble on one, like on a child's toy left on the carpet. The toy must be put away immediately, and the child reprimanded. Centrism isn't change, not even incremental change. It is control. The trap is filled with dead and dying locusts. Most of them aren't moving anymore. You still can't see. Poor things.
Goodbye, officer.
Good morning! Yeah! Huh? Yeah! It was awesome! And scary. Too hot car, in fact. I couldn't control it. At all! It sucks up all the air in the mix until it's the only thing left. Starts compressing itself and everything around it. Oh! I don't know. Maybe someone can do something with this. I imagine this is the sounds that the future could make. Yeah! Yeah! Remix time! Tape goes here, into deck B.
A hand on his ear. He listens to the...
Wow! Did you get this from Arno himself?
A great excitement is bubbling to the surface within him. This is...
Listen, I'm just going to show it to you. It would be unbelievable.
What is this? It's good. How did you guys do that?
Yes, but what if Van Eyck based his remix on some forgotten local melody, like a folk song, and you just found the original piece that inspired him to create this jam? That would explain why it fits so well.
Nah, to me it sounds like classic Van Eyck. I don't think he needs any inspiration from folk songs. Maybe he lives in Martinez and just threw away part of his...
I think it's just happenstance. Chaos in action. Contingencies of our limited...
No, this is definitely part of the same song. Something cut from it. Something mysterious is going on here.
Be how it may, if it fits, it fits! Bring up the volume!
What about the bass? Do you have any ideas for that? Yeah, I remember. You said it needs more bass.
But how?
What about that compressor Andre was setting up to achieve some sort of parallel?
Don't be too hard on yourself if you don't figure it out. I think the jam's already
But it could be hyper hardcore!
Oh, hey, man. It's good to see you. Goodbye, officer. Hey, man, it's good to see you.
You close your eyes and dream of the shapes your body should form to bring this strange...
But just imagine the moves you could...
Goodbye, officer.
It's getting late.
Hi again, gendarme. Bye-bye, gendarme.
Two neon-lit shapes, a man and a woman having sex. 700 meters away. The likeliest of these B positions, 20% chance. A skilled sniper could have made the shot, provided he had a safe sniper's nest. Even with the light on inside, we're talking military training. At that distance, the perpetrator would have had to take wind direction into account. It is possible that it came from B Prime. You can't know for sure until you... The lieutenant would probably agree that, in this situation...
Ah, yes. The night before I saw you in the hallway and reminded you you're a police officer. Wow. Elysium.
She's a glib girl, but she liked the wording.
There was the usual ruckus. Loud I can't say. Probably not. Sounded... Oh, yes. Various artists. Ostentatious orchestrations prime among them.
Oh, that? Yeah. Whoa. The less said about...
Oh, were huge where I come from. I was very young then, of course. Like 7. Life gets hard, but we go on.
Then, doesn't life get hard because we go on?
I don't know about that. At around 2 o'clock, the disco stopped, and a slow, sad song started playing. Like organ music on repeat. That went on for quite a while. Yes, there was a church in there. A really small church. Like the smallest, saddest church in the whole world. That it doesn't matter anymore, and that we're alone now. It was difficult to tell. The song itself was very quiet and soft, but you sounded like a wounded boar, sir. Don't be. I was going out later anyway. Then you started screaming and trashed the place. No, it didn't sound like there was a fight. It sounded like someone was trashing their room. A window was smashed, the tape player probably, the song stopped. And furniture too. A real destructathon. There was screaming. Then I think you passed out. There was. I think you screamed that you didn't want to be this type of animal anymore. I went out afterwards. Everything was quiet by then. Around 4 or 5. And that was it. No problem, sir.
to work! Right to work! Shame on you!
Hell no.
It just has to be said. The man's breathing steadies, but his eyes...
Why?
A common office radio, like any of those found in countless waiting rooms, is quite easy. Simply flip the switch labeled Release to disengage. The lock disengages with a nice click. You may now safely remove the transceiver unit. There's nothing obviously remarkable about it. It's about the size. If this transceiver were a person, it would be an accountant at a large logistics firm. Perfectly competent, but unexceptional. The transceiver appears quite at peace with its transceiver gone, the radio has ceased its persistent buzzing.
What is it? Ah, very good. Let's see what you have. Not the most advanced model, but at least everything appears to be in order. I believe that means we're ready to get started. I should warn you, once we begin setting up this antenna, we'll need to see the whole process through. So if there's anything you'd like to get in order before we depart, I suggest you do it now. That's up to you. At a minimum, I would make sure you are physically and mentally prepared for an intense...
At the very least, you should make sure you're wearing a good...
Radio engineers typically carry overpriced solvent sprays to clean the antenna connections. But in a pinch, some common... Finally, there's the question of stimulants. Some people prefer to keep legal amphetamines on hand to help with their work. I'm not one of them, but they do exist. I don't take them because they make me nauseous. But everyone has their reasons. I don't judge. Ah, yes. I wasn't sure what to do about that, but then I discovered an abandoned... Oh, yes. I did notice that it was covered in police livery. Then you already know that the carriage itself is irreparable. My intention is to run a power cable from the engine up to the antenna. It won't last forever, but it should give us enough time to establish a connection with Coalition warship Archer. That's fine. Return to me when you're ready to go.